Shravan Kirtana Hridayantastoya Bhadrani Vignati Suratsatam Nashtaprayashu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nashtaki. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 31st chapter, verse number 47. Tasman karya santraso na karpanyam na sambramah buddhava jiva gatim dhiro mukta sangaschare. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Therefore, one should not view death with horror, nor have recourse to redefining the body as soul, nor give a way to exaggeration in enjoying the bodily necessities of the life. Realizing the true nature of the living entity, one should move about in the world free from attachment and steadfast in the purpose. Purport. The same person who has understood the philosophy of the life and death is very upset upon hearing of the horrible, hellish condition of the life in the womb of the mother or outside of the mother. But one has to make a solution to the problem of life. A sane man should understand the miserable condition of the material body. Without being unnecessarily upset, he should try to find out if there is a remedy. The remedial measure can be understood when one associates with the person who are liberated. It must be understood who is actually liberated. The liberated person is described in Bhagavad Gita, one who engages in uninterrupted devotional service to the Lord, having surpassed the stringent law of material nature, is understood to be situated in Brahman. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is beyond the material creation. It is admitted even by the impersonalist like Shankaracharya that Narayan is transcendental to this material creation. As such, when one actually engages in the service of the Lord in various forms, either Narayan or Radha Krishna or Sita Ram, he is understood to be on the platform of liberation. The Bhagavatam also confirms that liberation means to be situated in one's constitutional position. Since a living entity is eternally the servitor of the Supreme Lord, when one is seriously and sincerely engages in transcendental loving service of the Lord, he is situated in the position of liberation. One should try to associate with a liberated person, and then the problem of life, namely birth and death, can be solved. While discharging devotional service in full Krishna consciousness, one should not be miserly. He should not unnecessarily show that he has renounced this world. Actually, renunciation is not possible. If one renounces his palatial building and goes to a forest, there is actually no renunciation. For the palatial building is also the property of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the forest is also the property of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If he changes from one property to another, that doesn't mean that he renounces. He was never the proprietor of either place or the forest. The renunciation necessitates renouncing the false understanding that one can lord it over material nature. When one renounces this false attitude and renounces the puffed up position that he is God, that is the real renunciation. Otherwise, there is no meaning of renunciation. Rup Goswami advises that if one renounces anything which could be applied in the service of the Lord does not use it for that purpose, that is called Falgu Vairagya, insufficient or false renunciation. Everything belongs to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore, everything can be engaged in the service of the Lord. Nothing should be used for one's sense gratification. That is real renunciation. Nor should one unnecessarily increase the necessities of the body. We should be satisfied with whatever is offered and supplied by Krishna without much personal endeavor. We should spend our time executing the devotional service in Krishna consciousness. That is the solution to the problem of life and death. Om Agyanam Timrandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swadanti Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavbhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So thank you all for giving me this opportunity to read this verse and share the notes. So here, after describing the fearful situation of the death, Lord Kapila gave some specific instruction for the entire humanity. What he says? He says that once one understands the truth of the self, that he is the spirit in this body, which basically transmigrate from one life to another, then one should not unnecessarily fear by identifying oneself with the body. So this identifying oneself with the body is very cause of the fear of the death. Otherwise, existence of the soul is eternal. So if we say I should be, we should mean by I the soul. So I am the eternal. But if we think that I is equal to body, then when this body dies, we loses all the power to see, power to hear. Then one can feel okay. If one is not able to see, not able to wake up, then one's existence is ended. But as per Shastra, this is not the reality. The death is not the reality. The experience of death is only an experience, because soul is eternal. And therefore, Lord Kapila is saying here, don't look upon the death with horror. It is just transmigration from one body to another. But it's very difficult to realize, and that's why he further explained. So we are being trapped in this bodily identification due to our karma, and this body is designed for the living entity to be in the bodily concept of life, because it was our choice to fall in this material world, in this mess. This was not Krishna's decision. So Krishna's creation of this body is meant for a facility of independent life, which we really aspiring for. Nobody want to be dependent of boss or any other living entity in this world. So there are different bodily necessities while we are here in this human life, like eating, sleeping, mating, defending. And we have to protect our existence, because we think that we are independent, so the body has to be protected. So there is a tendency of defending. So we have to eat. If we have to eat, the system is created in such a way that our brain will ask that, okay, where is the breakfast? Where is the lunch? Where is dinner? There is something to take as a brunch. So our brain is designed like that. Why brain asked like that? Because it is connected to somewhere pleasure. Okay, it's been a long time since I ate pasta. Let me eat pasta. Okay. So the relishing test is very much required for existence. Whatever things we are required for existence and survival of this living entity, in all those places, some sense of enjoyment is planted by the Lord, so that the living entity can experience the sense enjoyment as much as it is required for the bodily necessities. It is not sin, rather it is required at some extent. When it becomes sin, when we enjoy it in excess. If you see the Mayavadi philosophers, those are like just opposite. They says, okay, you should reach to a day. Yeah? A day has to come in your life when you should not eat anything, you should not enjoy anything, you should not do anything with it. But the Vaishnava says, okay, no, that's wrong. You should eat, you should do all these things, but you should minimize the demands and use this human body for the service of the Lord. Vaishnava don't say that, okay, for your perfection of life, when you will not eat anything, your graph of eating, uh, defending, sleeping, if it decreasing and it goes to zero, no eating, no sleeping at all, then your life is perfect. No, it is not like that. We should understand that all these facilities are the arrangement of the Lord for living entity. As long as the soul and the body have to be together in the system, it is required. But eating anything in excess or giving this enjoyment to the senses in excess, this is something can turn into in sin. So enjoying, eating, sleeping, defending to the extent to which it is required as a bodily necessity, it is not considered as sin. It is not considered to be lacking in Krishna consciousness in any manner if one is engaged in a regulated manner in these activities. In fact, Srila Prabhupada says that these so-called yogis, they torture their bodies and get renounced with what is not required at all for the for this body to be function properly. In the Vaishnava's lifestyle, meeting these bodily necessities is another factor of the life. In the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, if one has to eat, yes, Krishna made an arrangement. You can take prasadam, but while taking prasadam also, one should be little careful. In the name of taking prasadam, we cannot go on eating more than necessity, because then what will happen? Our tongue and brain will start enjoying just for the sake of enjoyment only. We'll stop seeing the prasadam as a mercy. We'll start seeing prasadam as a some object of some enjoyment. Okay, where is the rasgulla? Where is the sweet is not there in today's dish? It is not good. Like this. Once Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when after eating prasadam, he used to give remnants to his disciple. He mixed once all these items remnants, mixed gulab jamun with dal, spicy sabzi, all those together, and he gave it to his personal servant. And then he told, okay, go outside and distribute it, because my disciples might be eagerly waiting for my remnants. So go and just distribute it. When he went out, then nobody took properly all these remnants. So the lesson he wanted to teach, that we should take prasadam as a prasadam, not some other thing. So by practicing this dry yoga, if uh, if we lose the appetite artificially and don't eat, then our body will become weak. So therefore we have to test and eat Krishna Prasadam only as per our bodily requirement. And in the same way, everything, all these activities we do in Krishna consciousness, we should dovetail in Krishna's service or all day. Try to engage in Krishna's service as much as possible. If you are thinking about Krishna, then we might, even while sleeping, we might dream about Krishna. When we are lying, when we are sleeping, giving rest to the brain, our brain basically reorganize everything. So many activities happens when we sleep. But if we are engaging in Krishna consciousness, we are reading about Krishna, hearing about Krishna. So then even our sleep will be considered as a service to Krishna. Prabhupada used to say that if you are serving all day and you are sleeping, even your sleeping will be counted as a service to the Krishna. So the point is, like, there is no need to renounce. As per Shastra, if you are brahmachari, you are sannyasi, you are grasta, there is a way to handle it. Some formulas have been given how to deal with this eating, sleeping, mating, defending, all these things, which is like part of our human life. So we really need the guidance basically from the scriptures, how to handle this, and how to follow this highest philosophy of Krishna consciousness. Our goal should be somehow directly or indirectly to serve the Lord. Our goal is not our goal is not to show the so-called ability to renounce, as it is mentioned here in the purport. Renunciation is so-called renunciation is illusion. You renounce one building and go to the forest, but ultimately both are like Krishna's property only. So the idea of renunciation is the proper utilization of everything that comes to you in the service of the Lord. That is the real renunciation. Nothing is bad because everything is coming from good. So what is bad? The misusing what is coming from God. If you are misusing that, that is bad. So everything is meant for pleasure of the Lord, and that's why the Vaishnava moves around free from attachment. That is, as it is mentioned here in this purport, and they are going finally back to Godhead, and they are re-establishing uh, themselves as a Lord, as a servant to the Lord. In this way, when they are moving around free from attachment, they are awakening their consciousness that Lord is everywhere, in everything. Whether it is teaching of Lord Kapila here or Prahlad Maharaj teaching, what is the essence? Essence is to become always conscious that we are part and parcels of Krishna. There is no question about like we are separating from Krishna. Even if you see karmis, they are also not separated from Krishna. They're thinking, the karmi, they're thinking, they're feeling, they're willing, everything is made possible because super soul in their heart is sanctioning everything as per their previous karma. Only then it is happening, whatever they are feeling, willing, the karmis. So without the Lord facilitating the journey in this material world, it is impossible for any human being. We cannot see, we cannot taste, we cannot hear if we don't have super soul in our heart. It is only by the super soul intervention that we are able to hear, we are able to smell, and we are able to enjoy the things in this material world. So the point is that we must detach ourselves from everything which is, I would say, excessively material, and we should try our best to make best use of this bad bargain, the human body, we got it. Bad bargain means this is not the good place for us to stay here, being a eternal part and parcels of Krishna. This is the foreign land, this material world. So our material existence in this material world should be 100% spiritualized. And how it is possible? When we will read, we'll follow the Shastras, we follow the instruction of the spiritual master, and the main secret sauce in this recipe is association of devotee. Because once you are in association of devotees, they will automatically make you remember the instruction of Shastras, the spiritual master.